Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's ceremony. I am Major Nathaniel Dole, and I will be your MC for this afternoon's event. Throughout the ceremony, you'll be given cues to stand and be seated at the appropriate times. As a reminder, during the playing of the national anthem, military members should stand at attention, and our civilian guests should place their right hand over their heart. Please make every effort to maximize the use of hand sanitizer, maintain social distancing, and wear your face mask. We request all cell phones and other electronic devices to be turned off at this time. The ceremony will begin shortly. Thank you. In addition, please remove your proxies at this time. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The United States Air Force and the men and women and the men and women of the United States Air Force Academy extend a warm welcome to the family and friends who have joined us today as we pay special tribute to the United States Air Force Academy's Cadet 4th Group Air Officer Commanding Lieutenant Colonel Michael R. Stolley on the occasion of his promotion to Colonel. The presiding official for today's ceremony is the United States Air Force Academy's Commandant of Cadets, Brigadier General Michelle C. Edmondson. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party, the playing of honors, the national anthem, and the invocation. Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant Colonel James Hendricks will now deliver the invocation.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. For all those you desire may join me now in prayer. Holy Father, we thank you for this day and the opportunity to celebrate the promotion ceremony of Colonel Select Michael Stolley, knowing every good and perfect gift comes from you to include our advancements in life. We thank you for the gifts, the abilities, and opportunities you've given to Colonel Stolley, and how he has used them throughout his career in combat settings to protect our American way of life while prospering aviation, ISR, and space capabilities within the Air Force. Regarding the foundations of his leadership, we thank you for all of his mentors, teammates, parents, and extended family that have pushed him upwards to this very day of promotion. But more importantly, we thank you for his wife, Rachel, and his sons, Blake and Austin, that has given meaning and purpose for his service and leadership while greatly shaping his heart and his character. As Colonel Stolley goes forward, may you, O God, fortify him with your wisdom, your courage, and your peace. May you continue to work through him and his teams as we seek to overcome evil with good for the sake of international prosperity and international flourishing. To this end we pray. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. We are fortunate to have a number of distinguished and special guests with us today, many of which are from across the country. Please hold your applause until all names have been read. Let's start with the family. Lieutenant Colonel Stolley's wife, Rachel. His sons, Blake and Austin. Lieutenant Colonel Stolley's mother and stepfather, Mary Jo and Pat Wright from Granby, Colorado. Lieutenant Colonel Stolley's father, Dave Stolley from Fish Creek, Wisconsin. His brother, Tim Stolley, and his children, Ashlyn and Willow from Glenwood Springs, Colorado. His cousin, Janae Gweet from Denver, Colorado. His former Academy sponsor family, Colonel Retired Larry Bridger and wife Linda from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Colonel Retired Woody Hilberg from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Daniel McBroom from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Eric and Kristen Hallam and their children Rylan and Brenna from Colorado Springs, Colorado. Lieutenant Colonel Retired Ryan Durzon and his wife Allegra and their children Grace and Layla from Las Vegas, Nevada. Also attending this afternoon, we have Brigadier General Michelle Ebenson, the United States Air Force Academy's Commandant of Cadets, and her husband, Dave McGowan. Colonel Clarence Lukes, the United States Air Force Academy Vice Commandant of Cadets. Chief Master Sergeant Robert Johnson, the United States Air Force Academy Cadet Wing Command Chief. Finally, we would like to also extend a warm welcome to all commanders, chiefs, airmen, cadets, friends, and family in attendance today, both in person and virtually. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to introduce the United States Air Force Academy Commandant of Cadets, Brigadier General Michelle C. Ebenson.
Thank you, Rage, and just a huge thank you to the team for putting this together. And we thought that the chaplain might have an emergency, and Rage raised his hand and he said, "I can do that too." So I learned so much about Rage every time I see him. Let me echo all of those welcomes and a huge congratulations for an incredible day, for someone who I believe is an absolute incredible officer, incredible leader, incredible person, and hey boys, an incredible dad too. So, I'll run through the family intros again, but Rachel, let me start with you and let me say thank you. And let me ask everybody else to say thank you to Rachel and the boys for everything that they have done just for us in the last year. And that doesn't mention the last 24 years, but Rachel, thank you for you. I'll talk a little bit more at the end about what Ivan Stolley has been to me over the last year. But Rachel, it is not lost on me that has been a sacrifice for you and the boys with all the time he has spent here doing what I've asked him to do and being a part of this team. So thank you so much for that. And then there's a little bit more about Rachel that everybody should know. Rachel herself is a grad. Yes. Class of 2000 and a little bit more. And here we're having a reunion. All-conference long-distance runner, 4-time track and field most outstanding athlete. Rachel, that's incredibly impressive. Incredibly impressive. To the boys, Blake, Austin, both Nevada-born boys, Las Vegas boys. Blake, I understand you are quite the student and vice president of your class. And then Austin, I understand that you're quite the baseball player, and I have no idea where you get that from. Boys, your father and I spend a lot of time talking about what we're doing and balancing the craziness of our lives. And I'll tell you, your dad talks about you two all the time. It's about you, and it's about being home for you, and it's about finding that right balance for the family at home. So your dad couldn't be more proud of both of you. And thank you too for helping and supporting everything that you've done to support your dad. Thank you. Ivan's dad is here, Dave Stolley, in from Wisconsin. Thank you. Mom, Mary, and stepfather, Pat, brother, Tim Stolley. It's wonderful to have all of this family local in Colorado, at least, and you can come and be part of this. Sponsor family, the Bridgers, thank you for what you did so many years ago to get him through this institution. And it just says everything about what that sponsor program is to this institution and to our cadets that you're sitting here today. So thank you for all of that and everything that you've given to Ivan and his family, but to the cadet wing and all the support you've provided over the years. Thank you for that. So it's great that the COVID world opened up a little bit so that we could actually be here today in person. So thank you for those of you that were able to be here in our new normal. For those that aren't, that are joining us virtually, thank you for taking the time. And I'm excited and humbled, Ivan, that I get to be a part of this. So thank you to you for asking me to be a part of this incredibly important day. To the family again, Ivan wouldn't be here without you. To the Bridgers, Ivan wouldn't be here without you. Thank you for everything that you have done over the years to support him. Getting through this institution alone was no small feat, but everything that he is and has been for our Air Force, thank you for that. So on to Ivan for a few minutes. Class of 99, not nearly as loud as the class of 2000. A baseball player. And it's really interesting what Ivan adds to this team as someone that was an IC when he was here. And then he got the honor to stay after graduation and to continue to be a part of the baseball team and as assistant coach for the first year after graduation as a second lieutenant. And I can't imagine the joy that brought you to get to stay at your alma mater and be a part of that. And then off to pilot training at Columbus in Mississippi. And I learned that Rachel was just up the street at Vanderbilt that year. So they were close together. And then off to Luke, to IQT. And from there, off to Shaw as an F-16 pilot. And I think as this story unfolds, it's really interesting who Ivan is 24 years later as a fighter pilot turned RPA pilot, and how that's translated to who he is as a leader and how he carries himself in our Air Force. So first assignment to Shaw, 4-ship flight lead in the F-16, participated in multiple combat operations to include Northern Watch, Southern Watch, Iraqi Freedom, where Ivan took part in the shock and awe initial offensive in Iraq. And then at some point there was a big family decision to step out of the cockpit and transition to the RPA world. And at that point, he found himself at Creech in the 15th Reconnaissance Squadron as an MQ-1 evaluator, pilot, and flight commander. I mean, I think it's really interesting to talk about the decision that I think you made as a family to make that transition, but also the timing of that decision to step out of a manned aircraft, to go to the RPA world, and the timing of that at such a critical time when we were making that big push to stand up the RPA community. And that really, I think, put Ivan at the forefront of defining where we were going as an Air Force in the unmanned world. And Ivan, as the rest of your record will talk about, and all of the time that you spent in Las Vegas, how instrumental you were to starting us off on the right foot in that community and the impact that you've been able to have. So Ivan was selected as the initial cadre for MQ-9 Weapons School at the 26th Weapons Squadron at Nellis as an MQ-1 and 9 instructor pilot and assistant director of operations. When Ivan switched over to be the MQ-1, he became an instructor within months and then an evaluator 6 months later. From there, Ivan was selected as the chief instructor for the squadron all the way until he moved over to stand up the MQ-1 and 9 Weapons School in 2009. From there, Ivan was initial cadre and then stayed on as an instructor until the summer of 11. And as I have spent a year with Ivan, and as we focus on what we do at the academy and how we train cadets and what it means to deliberately train cadets, you see Ivan's passion for instruction come through in everything that he does. And I think that is rooted in the background that has been a part of your career, almost your entire career. And I think that it's very obvious that his real passion was what he was able to do to give back, both here at the academy, but also at the weapons school. So Ivan, I think that it's our gain, everything that you did and the opportunities you had at Nellis in your multiple trips to the weapons school. And then Ivan, I don't understand this one, your diversion from Nevada to Colorado Springs to Air Force Space Command to be the foreign disclosure officer. I don't understand. It was to get back here. That's awesome, and I'm glad that worked out. I didn't know that, and I was surprised. But I'm sure you have some good stories of your life with this in the space community, and I look forward to some of those someday. From his small, brief stint in Colorado Springs, went back to the weapons school as the DO for the 26th Weapons Squadron. And as the squadron DO of a selectively manned RPA squadron, quickly really built that unit up to its full end strength, defined the mission with what they were doing and how they were moving the RPA community forward. And then I think probably one of the greatest privileges of your professional career to get to be the commander of that organization. And when you talk to an aviator and their passion for their business and their weapons system, I think all of them would say, if I could go to Nellis and command the appropriate weapons squadron, that would be my first choice. So I know what a privilege that was, an honor for you to get to sit in that seat and probably be the envy of your community to get to do so. I think when you talk to Ivan, again, his passion comes through in what is really important to him. And I think that he will tell you it was being on the ground floor of standing up that squadron and everything that he got to give to the weapons school in that role. And I also think he'll tell you, and this is what I think defines Ivan Stolley, is his role in producing humble, approachable, credible, tactical experts that are leading the fight day in and day out against the enemy. And to me, that's who Ivan is. He is that humble, approachable, credible leader in everything that he does. He went to Air War College in residence, hand-selected to be a part of the elite grand strategy seminar. Most of us didn't call it that, Ivan. We called that extra work when we were at War College, but I'm glad that you take great pride in that. And then here, back to his alma mater, with an incredible opportunity to give back and make the difference every single day in the lives of 1,100 cadets. And Ivan, you have been the epitome of what we need in a group commander, leading your group and setting the example and enforcing the standards for your cadets. It's been an exciting journey for us. It's been a long year for us, and I think that, as I wrap this up, it's really important to talk about who Ivan has been to me over the last year. We showed up together. I think that we did your change of command a week after mine or so last summer. And I'm not a grad, and there was a lot about this institution that I didn't understand. And there was a lot that I have leaned on my group commanders to help me understand. But my first learning experience was basic training last summer. And I came in and I said, this is interesting, but I have some thoughts on maybe how we evolve this. And as the new guy who is going to inherit basic training, Ivan was the recipient of every one of my good ideas. Good ideas, right? And so Ivan quickly became the person that I leaned on to translate those good ideas to this environment, to translate my vision, to translate my intent, and to really turn it into reality. And, boys, I think you'll like this as baseball fans. We started 11 months ago, and the vision was grand of what we were going to do. That we set lofty goals. And at first, it seemed like we were hitting singles, but we were making progress, and we kept making progress. And then I think we hit a few doubles, and it felt good. And about 4 or 5 months in, I thought, we're going to get there. We're going to get there. And we probably had a triple in there somewhere, at some point, boys. And then COVID hit. And all of the work that Ivan had done was now in question as to whether or not we were going to be able to do what we had been working so hard to do this summer. And then Ivan found a way to translate that into a COVID-compliant, yet exacting program that was what the cadets needed to complete basic training. And my personal opinion is, if you look out on that terrazzo today, and you look at that terrazzo the last 6 days since they showed up, Ivan hit a grand slam. It's unbelievable what you did and what it would have been in a normal world, and to see it happen and translated into this environment, Ivan, I never would have dreamed that we would be here. And one more thing about Ivan. I have ideas, and sometimes I get rather convicted in my ideas. But Ivan has always been the person that will come in my office and sit down and have a very professional conversation that goes something like this. Well, have you thought about this? Or, if I may, could I suggest? And it's always professional, and it's always a valid perspective that I should listen to. And 9 times out of 10, when Ivan walks out the door, the answer looks probably a lot more like what Ivan brought in the door than what I had before Ivan showed up. And to have someone that works for you, that you spend so much time with, that is able to come in and say, hey, boss, you don't have a clue, in the right way, I couldn't respect that more. And to me, that's what this relationship has been, Ivan. So I'm incredibly grateful for that. So thank you. So Ivan, now you join 2 of your 3 brothers and sister 06 group commanders. And life's a little different. People have different expectations. Today, you come up out of the tactical level, and you are the one that will guide with your calm, steady hand in a way that you did differently yesterday when you put those eagles on your shoulders. You are now the fledgling of that arrow that will guide and direct and vector, probably constantly, where your organization is going. But Ivan, I have no doubt the Air Force got this right. I'm excited to see what you will do now as an 06 in this institution. And I thank you for your leadership and everything that you have done for the Cadet Wing over the next year. And I look forward to much more for you and the family in your Air Force journey. So with that, are you ready? Please join me. Publish the order.
Attention to orders. The President of the United States, acting upon the recommendation of of the Secretary of the Air Force has placed special trust and confidence in the patriotism, integrity, and abilities of Lieutenant Colonel Michael R. Stolley. In view of these special qualities and his demonstrated potential to serve in the higher grade, Lieutenant Colonel Michael R. Stolley is promoted to the grade of Colonel, United States Air Force, effective 1 July 2020, by order of the Secretary of the Air Force. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel Stolley's wife, Rachel, and sons, Blake and Austin, will now pin on the rank of Colonel on Colonel Stolley's service coat. As part of the promotion ceremony, it's an Air Force tradition for the newly promoted officer to reaffirm their commitment to the Air Force by retaking the oath of office. This oath reminds us of the serious obligation American servicemen and women make to the people of our country. Please stand as Brigadier General Michelle Edmondson administers the officer's oath to Colonel Stolley.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Michael Richard Stolley,
Having been appointed a colonel in the United States Air Force,
having been appointed a colonel in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
That I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties
that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties
of the office upon which I am about to enter.
the office upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Ivan.
Thank you, ma'am.
Congratulations.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the Air Force is proud to introduce Colonel Michael R. Stolley.
Thanks, Rage. I really appreciate it. Thanks for stepping up and doing this for me. Sergeant LaBello, I know she couldn't be here, but she's listening. Thank you very much for getting the ceremony all set up. Sergeant Osborne, Cassandra, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Life's been so hectic over the last couple of weeks, and couldn't have been here doing this without you, and I really appreciate it. And then I appreciate everything you've done for me over the last year as well. Thank you. I think Chaplain Hendrick had to go. Oh, you're back in the corner. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. It really meant a lot to me, and thank you for everything that your team's doing right now for the Academy. You're such a vital portion of what we do here, and they keep our cadets going forward and mentally strong and spiritually strong. I thank you. Absolutely love listening to you speak, so thanks. Ma'am, wow, that was loud. Thanks for your leadership. You know, this last year, I've learned so much just by watching you and being a part of your team, and being able to see your vision and translating that to reality and these big rocks that we've been trying to take on. You know, I think that there's some things that we've been needing to do at the Academy in a long time, and your courage and conviction to lead us all through these and to build us as a team, as a wing, and to really move us forward. I'm just, you know, I'm humbled to be a part of the team, and thank you. Thanks for your opportunity for BCT, I think, right? But for real, it's a huge responsibility, and you've given us your vision and letting us run with it, and I really appreciate it. So thank you. Colonel Lukes, thank you. Just for being that voice of reason, in your strategic vision for the wing, and the guidance that you give us, you know, when we need to come and run something by you to say, does this really make sense? You know, and for you to be able to be there and be that voice for us is huge. So thank you. Chief, man, too much energy. I don't know how you do it. I think my wife finally watched one of our commander's calls the other day, and she got to hear your chiefisms, and I was going to try to steal them for this speech, but she knows that I've skipped leg day like every day of my life, so she was like, you're not going to be able to pull that off, so sorry. So thank you. Thanks for everything you do for the wing. It means a lot for you to be here, so thank you. Amy, thanks for taking time out of your busy day to come celebrate with me. You know, starting Air War College last year, trying to think what we're going to be getting ourselves into coming here, and then getting and seeing reality. I couldn't think of a better teammate. I know Steve and Bigfoot, hopefully are tuning in, and I'd say the same thing to them as well. You know, I think we had a great team over the last year, and I just thank you for everything that you do for me and for the wing. You know, I've been taking a lot lately the last week, and I know it, so I owe you. Turnaround's fair play, I guess, you know. Steve, thank you, man. Everything that you do to keep our wing functioning and moving in the right direction. It's hard to put into words, you know. Fellow intercollegiate up on the staff, soccer man. Just the perspective you bring and the clarity you bring as we're trying to work through really tough issues. Thanks. It means a lot. So, Kelly, welcome to the team. Thank you for being here. I can't wait to start working with you. Tough situation to walk into right now. And I know, I think Kevin's watching. Just how quickly you guys already, just talking in the first couple of days of how well and quickly you're getting spun up. Amy and I both had a little opportunity to kind of ease our way into it, and I know that's not the same for you. And thank you in advance, and thanks for being hitting the ground running when you got here. So, just, you know, from my standpoint. First, I want to say thanks for everybody being here. It's pretty surreal. You know, if I look back to, you know, high school and then the academy, and then to be standing here at the academy, pinning on Colonel, 25 years after I started. It's not something I ever really thought would happen. I saw so many of the friends and people that I went to school here with that I was like, yep, they're going to make it. And I never really thought that was going to be me. So I'm not going to do it, Chief. I came here to play baseball, and then realized what the Air Force was, and it kind of grew up along the way. So I think about, how did I end up here? And the answer is all of you. And that's the only way I'm standing here pinning on Eagles being a colonel. And it's really the relationships that I have with everybody in this room, everybody online, that's impacted my career. And I'm just going to go through them. So, bear with me. It might be long, but, heck, you flew out from Wisconsin for this. So we got 2 or 3 hours at least until HAPS opens up. So bear with me, right? Mom, starting off, I don't know which one's which. Does it matter? Okay. Of course I didn't. I have no time for anything. First, here's these. I picked them out myself. So what I've learned from you, over the years, I think, compassion and emotional intelligence and being able to read people and sense, their emotional state and how they are. There's Simon Sinek's a famous author that we reference a lot here, and he wrote a book talking about leaders eat last, and I think that embodies everything about you. You constantly put everybody first over yourself and would do anything for everybody. And that's meant a lot to me. And it's really helped define the officer that I am. So thank you. I'm not going to do it, Chief. This is bad. All right. So thank you. I appreciate it. Pat, I think about discipline and attention to detail and hard work. And you taught me so much growing up. And we're always, right from wrong, here's the path you should be on. I wasn't always the best high schooler, and, made some mistakes, and you keeping me on that path, I appreciate it. So thank you. It's awesome being so close to both of you guys and having you such a close part of our lives now. So, Dad, to you, first off, thanks for flying all the way across the country from Wisconsin to be here. Trying times. I know you're put your own personal risk to make that happen in our current world, and it means so much to me that you would actually do that, and that you would take that risk for me. So thank you. What I learned from you, I think about how to balance work and life. There's a quote from John Wooden, right? When he talks about don't be too busy trying to create a career that you forget to have a life. And I think you've helped me balance that, and you brought me that perspective, and I watch you and the example you've set, it's meant so much to me, so thank you. Let's see, Tim, what I've learned for you, man, is how to raise a family. I look at Ashlyn and Willow, holy cow, all the time and energy and effort that you've put in and how you put them first. If I can do a fraction of that for Blake and Austin as they're growing up, I might get it right, but I'll never be to the level that you have, and everything that you've done for your children is absolutely amazing. Ashlyn, dude, saved your dad's life 2 months ago. Oh my gosh, right? Graduated high school, was it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? And off to CU. Sorry about that. We're Swiss. Swiss is out here. We got to get the football schedule going so we can play CU at least 3 or 4 times, it sounded like. So, sorry, man, you're on the wrong end of that. But excited to see you grow up, man. Asher on to great things, and I'm happy for you. Willow, man, all the softball, keep it up. You're so close to on the verge of greatness and graduating yourself. And I'm just so proud of who you've become and the person that you are. Thank you both for being here. So thanks. Josh. So my brother Josh is out listening online. You know, when I think of Josh, what I've learned from you, man, is how to have fun and how to always smile. And I know you're working just as hard as I am. So, you know, someday let's finally take that vacation to Hawaii that we always talk about, and let's get together, our families together, and make it a priority. So, wish you could be here, understand, and but thank you for everything you've done for me. Larry, Linda, and Woody. I think this year has given me so much perspective to what you all have really. I always knew you did a lot, but to really see what you've done for me and McBroom and the rest of the 4+1 as we, what you guys took on. Like, cadets are needy, right? Like we're just as needy then as we are now, but like I didn't realize it. And to see, and you'll be approving sponsor passes and people going and seeing what a part it is of everyone's life. Sponsors are, and then to know what you've been as part of our lives. Woody, your graciousness, you know, I think back to all the ski vacations that you drug me along with Chad, and just, it was never a question. You just pulled me in to just be a part of your family, and it meant so much. And then I look across and I see that Colonel retired, and I remember, you know, as McBroom and Dog and Hilby and Boomer and I, you know, sitting trying to decide what we want to do with our lives and everything, saying, man, if I could have this life that the Hillbergs and the Bridgers have, that would be absolutely amazing. And to be standing here pinning on Colonel, trying to walk in those footsteps is pretty amazing. So thank you. I don't think you can't say it enough. We're the Howlams in the back. Eric, Ryan, Brenna, Kristen, sorry I couldn't get you on base. It's my fault. So Eric, for those guys who haven't met Eric, Eric is my best friend from high school that happens to live here in Monument. Eric and I met each other on opposite ends of the baseball diamond, football diamond, basketball diamond, whatever, basketball court in middle school. And you know what I really learned from Eric is competition. And he tried to teach me how to work hard, but I don't think it set in at that point. But you know, we were always on rival teams all the way to high school, and then you know to be the two sophomores, on the team to win the state championship, and then to grow up and lead our teams after that. Pretty awesome. I say you tried to get me to do hard work, but I know I did Stolley sets. So in the weight room, my general rule was if I did half the reps of half the sets, that's doing my workout for the day. So Eric always tried to push me into that. Now, you know, ultramarathon runner, cyclist, just always pushing everything to the extreme, man. I every time I look at you and what you're doing, and then Kristen putting up with that, I'm in awe, and I just try to live up to that. So thanks for being here, for sure. McBroom, rest of 4+1, I kind of alluded to it, but you know, there's like pivotal moments in my life, coming here, being with you guys. You know, the four of you taught me teamwork and trust and that bond. And I tell everybody that comes to the academy that how special that bond is. And, you know, I've taken that, you know, as we left the academy into pilot training, and then we all went our ways. I've kind of taken that teamwork and trust and tried to build it everywhere I've gone. And I learned that from you all. And it's cool seeing everybody's families grow up together and being so tight. Thanks for being here. And for the rest of the fellows online, thank you for tuning in. We're at Dirty, Allegra, the rest of the Durzons. Man, awesome timing, being able to have you all here. You know, and I think of you, I see it similar to Josh, but like to the level in the workplace. But first off, how to be great friends. And our families have always just molded so well together that we really are a big family. And then to bring the joy to the workplace. So probably the funnest person to work with that you can imagine. The work hard, play hard, the professionalism that we established at the weapons school, but then the ability to have a good time and to do it in the correct boundaries, kind of. Thanks for being here. It means a lot that y'all are here. To the Tigers, so I think I see Thunder. Thanks for being here. I see Snort sitting next to her. Thank you. To the rest of the Tigers or the 26 and that are tuning in. That's right. By who? For when we stood up the weapons school, so you think about Admiral and Knuckles and Squeeze and Scuba and Judge and Pedro and Coach and what we were trying to take on. I don't think I was ready for what we were actually going to build. I was at a crossroads in my career where I was thinking about getting out and I was trying to decide what I wanted to do. And then that group of individuals really turned me around and taught me, okay, this is how you buckle down and you focus on something. I think up until then, really baseball was the only thing I ever focused on in my life. And then getting into the 26 and standing that up and really committing to something, that was a big change to me. And then everybody that came after that, so all the students in cadre and their professionalism and sacrifice to get through 6 hard months and then more importantly, go lead our community and what we built the community into. I think we finally eclipsed, I think we're over 100 graduates now and just how the community has changed and to be a part of that humble, approachable, credible mantra. I've tried to live up to it every day since taking that oath, and it'll stay with me forever. And I think that's a huge reason why I'm standing here. So, to my extra work Air War College family, that group was so amazing, and the conversations were just phenomenal. It was worth the extra work to be in that environment with all of you, and to be able to really learn about the meaning of resiliency, of deep thinking, of taking your time and doing things right. I just have learned immensely from you all, and thank you. To Group 4, so thanks everybody for being here from Group 4. What I've all learned since I've been here is professionalism. And this group of officers that come here to take on this challenge of leading the cadets, I can't say that I've ever been around a more professional force and committed force to taking care of human beings. And the cadets, like I said, they're needy, what I was saying earlier. And it's different from when I was here, and I never talked with my AOC ever, but that's such a different environment now. And there's so much that everyone is doing to help their cadets on a daily basis. I just appreciate it. I see Rod, I see you over in the corner trying to hide and stay separate from everyone. First off, thanks for doing that, but more importantly, thanks for being here. I'm going to embarrass you in front of everybody because I've, after being here, from starting 25 years ago, you're the best officer I've ever been around, man. I'm going to cry talking to Rod. That's terrible. But everything you do for me, for Group 4, more importantly for the wing, you're that beacon of light, and that we talk about it, that voice of reason and your perspective, and then your boots on the ground, what you're willing to do. Combat rescue officer here, and then you're a reservist, even the more a reservist. Thanks for everything you do for me, and I learn from you every day. So thank you. A few more. Let's see. The important ones. Not that everybody's not important, but let's say most important. So Rachel and Blake and Austin. Blake, man, what I learned from you every day is self-confidence and leadership, and your just desire to do what's right. It's absolutely amazing. I love listening to you play the clarinet, play the saxophone, listening to you talk about things that you're compassionate about, and see you do so well in school, lead your student council. You just mean so much to me, and I learn probably more from you every day than I can pass on in return. So thank you. I love you, man. Austin, do my little spark plug. You know, spitting image, we say, right? So you've got my same ups and downs. And dude, to see you smile, and when you smile, everybody in here smiles because it's that contagious. And to see you in that environment, doing what you like and having fun. Your mind and your attention to detail. So this kid Austin can look at the back of a baseball card and he can tell you what war Cal Ripken Jr. had in 1983. Like he can just look at the back of it and go, yeah, I remember that. Or you just ask him, he memorized it and he can just tell you, right? All the Matchbox cars, like you just got an amazing mind. And coming along on the baseball field, absolutely love watching you play. That changeup is nasty. Thank you for everything you do, and I love you, man. I know though for both of you guys, we're talking about work-life balance and careers, and I know the last few months have been a challenge for all of us, but thank you for hanging in there and just being so special. So love you guys. Rachel, I picked these out for you too. Yeah, love you. Ma'am, I thought it was appropriate what you said about thanking Rachel, for the last year, and then really thanking you for the last 20 years. I can't, without a doubt, I would not be sitting here without you, and because I couldn't have found my uniform to be up here to do this, mostly. But for real, this is an adventure we've been on, a journey we've been on together, and having you here by my side and really taking over all the duties of leading our family, if you will, and being there. Thank you. Sacrificing your own career to make mine work. I absolutely love you. It humbles me, just to be able to come home to you every day. Thanks for being my rock. So. Yeah, so I'll just end with just thanking everybody for being here. Like I said, it's really the relationships and what I've learned from all of you that makes me able to be here today. I'm absolutely humbled. I think probably some other people said this, but I always saw it on Kung Fu Panda, that it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, right? And this career that I've had and continuing to have has been absolutely amazing, and to be standing up here doing this, like I said, it's surreal. So thanks again for everybody for being here. Hope you all will join me over in Haps for a social distanced drink so we can catch up a little bit. With that, Rage, I'll turn it back over to you. But thanks again, everybody. Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, The men and women of the United States Air Force are proud of Colonel Stolley and look forward to working with him as he takes on new responsibilities and challenges. There will be a reception at the Haps Club following the ceremony. Please stand for the playing of the Air Force song and the departure of the official party. This concludes today's ceremony. Please join in congratulating Colonel Stolley at the Haps Club. Please make every effort to maximize the use of hand sanitizer, maintain social distancing, and wear your face mask. Thank you for attending and have a pleasant day.